Well, it turned out really short. There's only two matches on here.
It's an
The
hour-long
matches
show.
the matches weren't terrible. The first match and how the show starts is with the unified tag team champions, the Miz
Mm-hmm.
Show versus Yoshi
ECW
Tatsu.
Hardcore Legends, the Miz Show.
Yeah. Versus Yoshi Tatsu and Gold Dust.
Wow.
They
What a
came.
team.
Yoshi and Goldust came out to this music that sounds like some weird, terrible kids show music. I mean,
Yoshitatsu was a good wrestler. I remember him.
no, actually, that was one of the things I noticed in
Yeah.
this match is there was this interesting senton that Yoshi did on Miz. Goldust had him on his knees. He had him near the ropes, and Yoshi just bounced off the rope and did a senton on him while Goldust had him. He also had this fun reversal while he was being thrown out of the ropes where he just caught himself and slingshotted right back in the ring. Yoshi, he was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I remember he was a pretty good wrestler.
Unfortunately, Big Show throws Miz into Yoshi like a battering ram. And then Goldust does a power slam from the rebound of an Irish whip on Miz, which was picture perfect. But yeah, Miz Show retained those titles and won. It was the Big Show did a punch on Yoshi in the corner, and while the ref was distracted, and Miz got the pin. Then they showed because this was the end of ECW, and they were replacing it with the this show called NXT.
Yeah.
It was like a reality show.
Yeah.
They started announcing throughout the show who the first ever people were going to be. Each wrestler, new wrestler, had a pro that came with them, and the first one they announced was the pro. This guy, his name is Chris Jericho.
Yeah, heard of him.
Yeah, he had a rookie, Wade Barrett.
Yes, who now part of the NXT announce team.
Yeah. Then they told pro Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
With rookie Justin Gabriel.
Yep, I remember Justin Gabriel, pretty good high flyer.
Mm-hmm. Then the general manager of NXT, Tiffany.
Yes.
Which I don't really
you mean
remember
of
at all.
ECW?
Or ECW, I'm sorry.
Yeah, she was a Diva Search winner.
Well, she talked about NXT and is interrupted by Zack Ryder. And
woo woo woo.
He comes on there and he says he feels that he should be in the title match instead of Christian. Or no, Christian was the champion, so instead of Ezekiel Jackson. He should be in the title match, and Tiffany tells him no. And then he had a woman. Do you remember who Zack Ryder's valet was at the time? She was foreign. I did not recognize her, and they didn't say her name.
No, I don't remember.
No. He says it's Extreme Rules, so if he wants to make his presence felt, he can. Woo, 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 in a very Healy way.
Yes. This was the start of the woo 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 movement.
Yeah. Yes.
Fun fact about I apologize. About Zack Ryder at the time, part of the Major Brothers. Before he was part of the Major Brothers with Kurt Hawkins. I forget what their names were, but their last names were Major. And then Vince McMahon found out that they were not actually brothers, and was like, "Well, why we got them as brothers?" And they kept them as a tag team, but changed their names to Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
Huh.
Also, their entrance theme was done by my good friends in the band Disciple.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Then we have Tony Atlas in the ring,
Mm-hmm.
and he introduces Abraham Washington for the Abraham Washington show.
Yes.
Abraham says he's the most entertaining man in sports entertainment, and the Titantron tells the audience to applause. And then Tony Atlas keeps laughing forcefully to every terrible joke Abraham Washington tells. He says he's the hottest free agent once ECW goes under. And he's going to bring out his guest, which is himself. And he talks to himself. And then I was very, very thankful when Shelton Benjamin came out to interrupt this
The
clown.
gold standard at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was the gold standard, Shelton Benjamin. I agree with Shelton when he says that this is unwatchable. I was not good. I was not enjoying myself at the Abraham Washington show. Then Vance Archer interrupts. And Archer tells Shelton he better not be on the same show as him. Then Kaylee Croft and Trent Beretta.
Did you recognize Vance Archer?
Not really, no. I recognize the name, but
Oh, you might recognize the name because it's very close to what he's now known as. Murder Hawk Lance Archer in AEW.
oh, okay.
Go ahead.
He looks a lot bigger now.
Yeah, he's eaten his Wheaties since then.
Apparently. So then Kaylee Croft and Trent Beretta come out to say it's so boring, and I agree.
Did you recognize Trent Beretta?
And no, I didn't recognize those two at all.
He, you mean of the Dude Busters at the time? Trent Beretta, you might recognize him now as Trent. He's a really good friend. One might say a best friend.
Oh,
of freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
I did not make that connection.
Yeah, go ahead.
Then Vladimir Kozlov, and so this is just to show.
Did you recognize Vladimir Kozlov?
I mean, yeah.
Big Russian guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a big Russian guy. This is just pretty much to showcase all the ECW wrestlers before they.
Yeah, before they get the boot.
He speaks some Russian, and then finally somebody starts kicking ass. Kozlov. Then he shakes Shelton's hand after they do some ass beating together.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get more pros and rookies. We have pro Carlito with rookie Michael Tarver.
Yeah.
Pro Miz with rookie some little guy named Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, he never make anything of himself, I'm sure.
He was probably terrible. He looks so young too.
Yeah.
He did.
And beardless.
Yes. Pro MVP with rookie Skip Sheffield.
You recognize who Skip Sheffield was?
That one I recognized, but I didn't put my finger on why.
It was Ryback.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Mm-hmm.
Then pro Christian with a man who has all the kids, Heath Slater.
He's got kids, man.
He's got kids. Then Christian comes down and talks about how he is happy he is at ECW. He's very proud of this, and he's fighting this fight for everyone. Then we see that the next pro is CM Punk with rookie Darren Young.
Yeah.
And
future primetime player, Darren Young.
Yes. Then we have the main event, the second match of the night. ECW champion Christian versus Ezekiel Jackson with William Regal in his corner. Christian has control at the start of the match, and Zack Ryder comes down and during the match and attacks Christian as he said he was going to. Then Ryder's valet smacks Christian. And then ECW general manager, who is very upset because she told him no, comes out and spears Zack Ryder's manager. Then that takes them out of the match, and then Christian drop kicks Jackson's trash can into his face, which that was pretty fun. This was a fun hardcore match. It was an Extreme Rules match. Jackson misses ramming Christian into a shopping cart, or shopping cart into Christian, but then he tosses him into the cart. Christian then drop kicks a table into Jackson and William Regal, who were trying to get it out of the apron, and they were going to put it in the ring, and Christian did a drop kick on the outside to both of them. Regal then attacks Christian, and then he tries to attack him again, and Christian catches Regal and does the kill switch on him. But Jackson takes advantage and gives him a rock bottom on the table to win. So your new and one-day champion of the ECW title is Ezekiel Jackson. And then they announced the last person pro R-Truth with rookie David Otunga.
Oh, yes. David Otunga.
And that is it for ECW on Sci-Fi.
Wow. What a show. Ezekiel Jackson, you know, he got a lengthy run with that ECW title of just, a couple minutes.
Technically, he's still champion.
I guess he is still the champion right now.
So he's had that title for 14 years now.
So
I wonder if
that
they
was
let him keep it.
That was it. And then just a week later, ECW became NXT. Started out as a reality show. I remember at the time I was like, you know, they're gonna get rid of the third WWE brand for this garbage. Like, why would they do that? And NXT, started out as a reality show, like I said, with the pro wrestlers and their rookie, which is hilarious that Miz was the pro for Daniel Bryan when the Miz was like new to wrestling at the time, and Daniel Bryan had been killing it in Japan and the Indies. And that first season ended up becoming very awesome for a short while until they ruined it. Nexus, all of those members of that roster became a stable. Nexus, they invaded Raw, had a brutal beatdown. They showed up and they were beating down the timekeeper and the announcers. And unfortunately, Daniel Bryan decided to take some cables and start strangling. I believe it was Michael Cole that he was strangling, if I'm not mistaken. And because this was shortly after the Benoit incident, Daniel Bryan was fired. So he did not actually get to really be a member of the Nexus. He was rehired again shortly afterward. But, he didn't actually get to be part of that Nexus. He was just there for the debut. Then Nexus went on to be interesting for a while until they were buried. CM Punk led the new Nexus for a short while, which led into his pipe bomb promo and all that. And of course, we know NXT. They did pretty good for themselves, didn't they?
Yeah, they've become best show, favorite show.
They've become the super popular third brand for WWE, and many people's argument of the best wrestling there is on TV right now, going head to head against AEW every week, losing to AEW, but still holding up pretty well. And that's history. ECW had to die so that NXT could rise from its ashes and
I
become
mean,
an excellent show.
they weren't really doing ECW right anyways, so it
And
definitely was for the best.
you got to see the early signs of what was becoming NXT anyway. Ultimately, just a third brand,
Yeah.
except it became a successful third brand. Mostly, when they introduced the WWE Network, NXT was like the staple of the WWE Network for a while there. Now it airs on USA Network and the WWE Network. And that's it. That was ECW on Sci-Fi. WWE's ECW from 2006 to 2010. It wasn't all bad. Let's talk about the stars that came out of WWE's ECW.
All right.
The biggest, obviously, was CM Punk. He that's where he got his start in the WWE, was in this ECW. He left the brand after cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Raw, becoming the champion for a short while. Another star out of ECW was John Morrison, who he had already gotten his start in WWE a few years earlier when he started on Tough Enough and was a co-winner of the third season. He then moved up to Ohio Valley as an assistant to Eric Bischoff named Johnny Nitro, and had some success as he was part of the tag team MNM.
I remember Eminem. I really liked Eminem.
Mercury, Nitro, Melina, where he became a 3-time tag team champion with Joey Mercury. However, his real breakout came when he went to ECW, changed his name to John Morrison, and became the ECW champion there, and proved he was a singles star. He left for a few years and is now back on SmackDown, teaming with Miz and trying to steal Otis's briefcase.
I'm loving Miz and Morrison, so hooray.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. And we have Kelly, former cheerleader, went into modeling before signing with WWE in 2006.
To become a
She was
stripper.
only 19. She was only 19 when she joined ECW, stripping. 19, man. Of course, we know her from part 1, where WWE was just
where she tried to strip
having
you.
her do strip teases, and led to an angle where her boyfriend Mike Knox would try to stop her from getting all naked. Kelly proved to be more than just a pretty face and etc. when she moved on and won the Divas Championship on the main roster. So she was a breakout, you can say. Sheamus started his WWE career on that brand, and he didn't last on ECW very long because I think they saw what they had in him and they moved him up to the main roster quick, and he ended up winning the WWE title within a year of his debut. Kofi Kingston.
Oh.
Kofi got his start in ECW. Moved on to New Day, moved on to be a WWE champion himself. And a few familiar AEW faces came out of WWE's ECW. Of course, Jake Hager, the former Jack Swagger, started there, and he was an ECW champion.
Yeah.
And as we've covered, as I mentioned earlier, Murder Hawk Lance Archer wrestled for the brand under the name Vance Archer. He swapped out that first letter of his name. And of course, Orange Cassidy's best friend, one of his best friends, Trent of the Best Friends. In WWE's ECW, he was Trent Beretta, one half of the tag team, the Dude Busters.
And as Dude Busters to the Best Friends.
Yes, from the Dude Busters to the Best Friends. As for our final ECW champion, Ezekiel Jackson, he went on to SmackDown as a member of the Core, which was the offshoot of Nexus with Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, drawing a blank of Wade Barrett, I believe, was in the Core, if I'm not mistaken. Or
I was thinking Wade Barrett was.
I can't remember. I know Wade Barrett was the leader of Nexus when that started, but he might have stayed on Raw. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Ezekiel eventually became the Intercontinental Champion before he left WWE in 2012. He wrestled for TNA and then Lucha Underground, and he retired in 2015. Still, technically, the ECW champion. And that is where we stick a fork in ECW. It's done. It's gone. Rest in peace, ECW on Sci-Fi and just ECW in general. As we know, Paul Heyman is back in the WWE, managing Brock Lesnar, then managing Roman Reigns. So he's doing pretty good for himself. He's left ECW behind, but it still exists in our hearts. Maybe not this version of it, though. Maybe not. Maybe not.
I mean, to be honest with you, I never really watched ECW before it was on WWE.
I never really did either. I mean, there's a lot of ECW stars I loved, like RVD, obviously. I was always a big fan of RVD. Never got into Sandman. He was not a good wrestler, really. He was entertaining, I guess. Sabu was kind of fun. Yeah, we got some good. I mean, hardcore legend Mick Foley spent some time there.
Yeah.
So a lot of great wrestlers that had passed through the original ECW, and a lot of great wrestlers passed through this version.
I mean, I'm not trying to hate on ECW. I mean, I never really watched WCW much. I mean, I did a little bit.
I did watch this version of it. I watched more of this version of ECW than I ever did the original ECW. And I remember I enjoyed some of it. You know, it was fun seeing a few guys get to hold that title. I don't know how much that title really meant, but like Chavo Guerrero got to hold it.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy got to hold it. Christian, obviously. But that's it. That's all I got. So, hey, Steven, why don't you hit me with your plugs?
All right. You can follow me on Dragon Blazer Productions on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and you can follow me on Twitter at Dragon Blazer Pro.
Yeah. And you can follow this show at PW Apologists on Twitter, where it's not getting a whole lot of engagement because y'all don't get on my Twitter for some reason. But I'm offering up 3 months of WWE Network. And all you got to do is give us an idea for a PWA WTF Hall of Fame induction. If I like your choice, and it's one we haven't done before, I'm going to pick your choice, give you credit on here, do the whole profile, do it up real nice for you, and give you 3 months of the wonderful WWE Network so you can see some great things like ECW on Sci-Fi.
Zombie.
You can see the ECW Zombie. You can watch those damn turtles wrestle or whatever you want to do.
I don't know if that's on the network.
Okay, it might not be on the network, I guess, according to Steven. So follow, interact, PW Apologists on the Twitter. You can follow me at Krager Atkins so you can see me talk about Destiny and politics. And spicy chicken nuggets from McDonald's. And we love pro wrestling. Sometimes that's okay.
Sometimes it is. Hey, if you like that video, please like and subscribe my production company, Dragon Blazer Productions. My name is Steven. You also might know me from the Rage and Blaze show as Blaze. So please like and subscribe.